I just finished this book called The Mind-Gut Connection, and I would totally recommend it to anyone who's wanting to learn about how their gut is impacting their mental health. But for the people who don't want to read the entire book, these are some of my favorite takeaways. And he goes over how a lot of these illnesses that we have today are just increasing dramatically. So in the 1970s, obesity was at 13%, now it's at 40%. With autism, in the 1970s, it was in 1 in 10,000 children, and now it's 1 in 100, and some studies even suggest that it's less, so 1 in 60. And also with depression, it was at 5% in the 1970s, now it's closer to 18%. And in this video, I'm mainly going to talk about the gut and depression, but in the book, it talks about autism, obesity, Alzheimer's, diabetes, Parkinson's, and a lot of other problems that we think are mainly in our brains, but have a really big implication on our gut health. So what is the mind-gut connection? It's just the way that our brain communicates with our gastrointestinal tract. It does this through the vagus nerve, the HPA axis, and then also the gut microbiota. This is mainly what he talks about for the book. He doesn't really talk about these two. It's mostly just the gut microbiota. And the reason that our gut health plays such a big role in depression is because 95% of the serotonin in our body is actually produced in our gut. And most antidepressants now are SSRIs, or serotonin reuptake inhibitors, which just trick the brain into thinking that you have more serotonin. And serotonin is really important for your mood, your sleep, and your general well-being, but it also helps move food through your intestines. And so what can you do to get more serotonin to your brain? One of the things that you can do is increase tryptophan. And so tryptophan is found in a lot of different foods like chicken, eggs, cheese, milk, peanuts. And researchers have shown that when you have a diet deficient in tryptophan, you actually have lower levels of serotonin in your brain. And so if you're able to increase your intake of tryptophan, then that can help with serotonin levels. And they also found that having foods high in butyrate help as well. So there's these things in your gut called enterochromaffin cells, and they convert butyrate into important metabolites, which help send serotonin to your brain. And so things that are high in butyrate are things like asparagus, whole grains, and other veggies. But also across the board, they found that people who have major depressive disorder also have an increased level of pro-inflammatory cytokines. And there's different kinds of cytokines, but essentially what they do is they just cause inflammation in your gut and can cause problems with digestion. A lot of times they cause irritable bowel syndrome. There's actually 1 in 3 people who are depressed also have irritable bowel syndrome. And diets that are really high in fat and sugar increase your released amount of cytokines from your gut, which then travel to your brain. And these are just some interesting things that I found about diet. Diet is only one factor in why someone might be depressed. There could be a lot of other things that go into it. And I just thought these were interesting things from the book.